Going to practice solving equations with combining like terms. I know it just says guided practice, but we are going to practice solving equations with combining like terms. Just a reminder from the notes we did in the last video. The way you do these type of problems is first you combine like terms, second you get rid of the constant, and third you get rid of the coefficient. So let's get rolling. Okay. Let's first combine like terms. We have a negative 3x right here, and we have a 2x right here. Negative 3x plus 2x is negative 1x. But I'm just going to write negative x because we all know that 1 is invisible. You can write the 1 if you want, but I'm not going to. The 7, that has nothing to combine with, so I'm just going to leave it as a 7. So now we have negative x plus 7 equals 4. It's something that is recognizable. It's something that we know how to work with. So first we just combine like terms. Now we could solve it like a two-step equation. So first, we combine like terms. Second, we need to get rid of this constant. That constant is that number right there. So it's plus 7, so we're going to minus 7. What you do on one side, you're going to do to the other. These 7 cancels out, and I'm left with negative x over here. 4 minus 7, plug that into your calculator. 4 minus 7, it's going to be negative 3. Now, I want to solve for x. I don't want to solve for negative x. The name of the game is still the same. Get the letter by itself. This is a letter with a negative sign. It's still not by itself. So what I have to do is, because, there's an invisible 1 right there. You can imagine it. You can divide by negative 1 on both sides. Negative 1 divided by negative 1, that cancels out, leaving you with x. If you put negative 3 divided by negative 1 in the calculator, you'll get 3. Or you can just remember the fact that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Number 2. Again, we're going to combine like terms. Second, we're going to get rid of the constant. Third, we're going to get rid of the coefficient. So the like terms that we have are 5 and 3. 5 plus 3, that's 8. There's nothing to combine the 2x with, so we just leave it there. We have combined like terms. Secondly, I got to get rid of the constant. There's a positive 8, so I'm going to minus 8. What I do on one side, I do to the other. These cancel out. I'm left with 2x. On this side, 18 minus 8 is 10. Now that I've gotten rid of the constant, I got to get rid of the coefficient. 2 is the coefficient. 2 and x are multiplying each other, so I got to do the opposite. I got to use division. I divide by 2. I do this on both sides, because what I do on one side, I do to the other. These 2 cancels out, leaving me with x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Number 3. Combine like terms. 2x and 9x. That is 11x. I can combine this 4 with this minus 2. That equals 2. Positive 2. Now that I've combined like terms, I can get rid of the constant. Here's the constant. The constant is the number that is by itself. It doesn't have a variable. I'm adding 2, so I can subtract 2 to make that disappear. What I do to one side, I do to the other. On this side, the 2 cancels out. I'm left with 11x. On the right side, 24 minus 2 is 22. Here I have 11x, aka 11 times x. So I have to do the opposite to make that 11 disappear, because the name of the game is get the letter by itself. I want that 11 to disappear because I want to get that variable by itself. So I divide by 11. I do that on both sides. On the left side, the 11s cancel out. I'm left with x. On the right side, if you put that in the calculator, 22 divided by 11 is 2. By the way, I'm always saying use your calculator because you're allowed to do so. I'm more concerned about you understanding the process of how to get there more than your ability to do mental math. But with that said, I do want you to get better at mental math. So if you feel propelled to not use the calculator, all power to you. Do it in your head or use your fingers and whatnot. That's even better. But nonetheless, use your calculator if you need to do so. And don't feel bad about it. It's totally okay to use your calculator. Number 4. 3x minus 7x plus 5 equals 25. Combine like terms. 3x minus 7x. That is negative 4x. The 5 has nothing to combine with, so I'm just going to leave it there like that. I've combined like terms. Now I'm going to get rid of the constant. First, combine like terms. Second, get rid of the constant. I've combined like terms, so now I'm going to get rid of the constant. It's plus 5, so I'm going to minus 5. What I do on one side, I do to the other. These 5's cancel out. I'm left with negative 4x. On this side, 25 minus 5, that's 20. Now that I've gotten rid of the constant, I'm going to get rid of the coefficient. Coefficient is the number right next to the letter. X and negative 4 are being multiplied. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by negative 4. What I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm going to divide by negative 4. On this side, the negative 4's cancel out, leaving me with x. On this side, 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. Number 5. Let us combine like terms. We got hold up. We got 7x. We got minus 5x. By the way, every time I combine like terms, I'm looking at the sign in front of the number. This is a positive 7x because, well, if there's no sign, then it's automatically positive. But I'm still looking at the front of it. 7x right here. I'm not looking at the plus sign behind the 5x. I'm looking at the minus sign in front of the 5x. You got to look at the sign in front of the term. Whatever your term is, you got to look at the sign in front of it. So 7x minus 5x is 2x. I can combine this constant with this constant. 2 plus 4 is 6. I have combined like terms. Now I will get rid of the constant. I will get rid of the constant. The constant is 6. So I will minus 6. What I do to one side, I do to the other. I will minus 6. On the left side, these 6's cancel out. I'm left with 2x. On the right side, 2 minus 6. I'm at 2, and I'm minusing 6. I'm going to get colder, right? I'm taking away hot. I'm taking away something positive, so I'm going to get colder. So I'm going to get negative 4. You could use your calculator, by the way. But, I mean, I want you to be able to do that. But if you need to, use your calculator. Now that I've gotten rid of the constant, I will get rid of the coefficient. The coefficient is 2. 2 and x are being multiplied, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide. What I do on one side, I do to the other. I'm going to divide over here. On this side, the 2's cancel out. I'm left with, I'm going to write it over here. I'm left with x on the left side. And on the right side, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Alright guys, we just got 3 more problems. Hang in there with me, alright? I know this is kind of a long video, but just hang in on there. Hang on in there. Hang in on there. Or number 6. We're going to combine like terms. Remember, look at the sign in front of the term. So this is a negative 10x plus 5x. So negative 10x plus 5x would be negative 5x. Because negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So when we've combined like terms, we have 8 minus 5x equals negative 12. So I'm going to get rid of the constant. Remember, guys, don't get tripped up by the order of things. I know usually we like to see something like I don't know, something like this. 2x plus 6 equals 2. You see how the letter is first? 2x, the letter with its coefficient is first. 2x plus 6. Or something like 11x plus 2. But now we have 8 minus 5x. Don't get tripped up by that. Still, the name of the game is get the letter by itself. And what we want to do is get rid of the constant first. Get rid of the constant. Get rid of the constant. And the constant is 8. So here we will minus 8. What we do on one side, you do to the other. These 8's cancel out. You're left with negative 5x on this side. Negative 12 minus 8 is negative 20. Now that we've gotten rid of the constant, you want to get rid of the coefficient. The coefficient is negative 5. Negative 5 and x are multiplying each other, so I'm going to divide. What I do on one side, I do to the other. These negative 5's cancel out. I'm left with x equals 4. Okay, last but not least. Oh, actually, never mind. I'm sorry. We got 2 more problems. Second to last but not least, let's do this problem. We got this is a whammy right here. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got 2x minus 3 plus 8x minus 4x minus 3 equals 6. Just take it one step at a time. Let's find the like terms that we can combine. We got a 2x right here. We got a plus 8x right here. And we got a minus 4x right here. I'm going to do it in my head. But like I said, don't be hesitant to use your calculator. You can use your calculator. And the way I would do this on a calculator is I would put 2 plus 8 minus 4. And then whatever my answer is, I would put the x right next to it. But for now, because I don't have a calculator, I'm going to do it in my head. And 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. So you have 6x. I'm going to combine the constants now. You have a negative 3 and you have another negative 3. So negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Now that we've combined like terms, we are going to get rid of the constant. 6x minus 6, so I'm going to plus 6. What I do to one side, I do to the other. These 6's cancel out. I'm left with 6x on this side equals 12. Now that I've gotten rid of the constants, I'm going to get rid of the coefficient. 6 is multiplying with x, so I'm going to divide 6 on both sides. On the left side, the 6's cancel out. I'm left with x. On the right side, 12 divided by 6 is 2. Last but not least, we got x minus 3x plus 2 equals 6. Boom, that's a like term. Boom, that's a like term. X minus 3x. If I were going to use a calculator, I would put 1 minus 3. Because there's an invisible 1 right here. We all know that, right? So 1 minus 3, that's negative 2. Don't forget the x. There's nothing to combine this constant with. We've combined like terms. So second, we got to get rid of the constant. It's plus 2, so I got a minus 2 to get rid of it. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. These 2's cancel out. 6 minus 2 equals 4. My bad. I forgot to add this thing. Minus 2x on this side. Or I should say negative 2x on this side. Negative 2x equals 4. I got to get rid of this coefficient. Negative 2 and x are multiplying each other right now. Anytime a number is right next to a letter with no sign, that means multiplication. So to get rid of it, I got to do the opposite, aka division. What I do to one side, I got to do to the next. These negative 2's cancel out, leaving me with x. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. And there you have it. We have done many equations that involve combining like terms. You basically get an equation that has a bunch of stuff that's all messy. You combine that stuff, and then it looks like a two-step equation. Once you get it to the two-step equation form, we know how to do those. You just get rid of the constant, and then you get rid of the coefficient. We did that for every single one of these. All right, class, good job for sticking along with this video. Now you could do the practice on your own.